Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DD Paper Crafts.
If you saw the video earlier in the week, you'll know that we made this box. Today we're going to take the lid one step further by including an extra element, and it creates this shaped box. I have seen greeting cards made like this, known as star folds, and I've once again used that as my inspiration to add it onto a box base. The box element is made exactly the same way as this one. I've used 250 GSM for this box and it has stood up well to the folds. The only thing I would point out is consider the cardstock you're using, because you need to bear in mind that the lid comes in and then comes back. So you're better off using a double-sided cardstock, otherwise your cardstock would be, for instance, the right way up for this piece, but as we fold this back, you'll then be seeing the underside. The box measures 3.5 inches across and it is 2.5 inches high. It comes together relatively quickly, so let's put the box together. We'll start with the sides of the box, and for this you'll need one piece which is 11 inches by 3.5 inches. Along the 11-inch side, score at 3.5, 7 and 10.5, rotate, and on the short side score at 3 inches. I'll give you the measurements for the additional pieces. For the base, we're going to cut our triangle from a piece which is 3.5 times 3 plus 1/16, and along the top edge on the 3.5-inch side make a pencil mark at 1 3/4 inches. Then you'll need 3 pieces which are 3.5 by 3.5. This is going to be for the lid. Along one 3.5-inch side, mark at 1 3/4 inches. Rotate 90 degrees. My pencil mark's now over here on the right, and score at 1/2 and 1.5, and you'll do that 3 times. We'll start with the sides of the box. Fold and burnish along all of the score lines. Take your scissors. I've got my tab over on the right hand side and the base tab in front of me. We're going to cut up the first vertical to the 1/2 inch horizontal all the way along. So we're just creating the glue tabs to add the base onto. Rotate. Remove this small intersecting square and then take a wedge from each of the ends of the glue tabs. Flip the piece over. I'm going to fold in the left hand side, add glue to the glue tab, and then join up the sides of the box. Flip the box over, fold in the base glue tabs one at a time, and you just want to check that you've cut the bridges off the ends so that the base glue tabs can fit down within the triangular section. So you might need to trim some off so I can see that they all fit within the shaped sides. Put that to one side and we'll now work on the base element. Bring in your 3.5 by 3 plus 1/16 of an inch piece, and we're going to cut from the top pencil mark down to the bottom left hand corner and the top pencil mark down to the bottom right hand corner to create the base for the box. So this is going to sit on the top like so. Add glue to all of your glue tabs and then adhere the base triangle into place. That goes on there, and then you can flip the piece over and using your ruler or your score tool just go in and burnish down the glue tabs. That effectively is the base of the box. We're now going to work on the lid. I'm going to cut the triangular shape into this and then fold and burnish the score lines. So we're going to cut from the top pencil mark here down to the end of this 1/2 inch score line, and then the same on this side. I have 3 pieces which look like this. We'll fold and burnish the score lines. The 1/2 inch score line we're going to fold as a mounting fold, and the next score line we're going to fold as a valley fold. So your triangle will come across to the outside like so. So you'll have 3 pieces which look like this. We're now going to adhere these one by one into the sides of the box. So I'm going to take a wedge from there line up the score line with the top edge of the box. You can see that fits in there nicely. Lay the box down, and then I'm going to burnish the tab into place, pressing down rather than moving the tab. Just lift that up and just check that that's still as it should be, which it is. Bend it back in the opposite direction just so it's moving in both directions, and then do the same on the other. They're all stuck in there nicely. So this one comes together the same as the box made earlier in the week. This side is over the top of this one, so this end has got to be under something. So that is going to come over there like that, which means this one is going to come under there like that, and they all snap together. So you'll have one end which is on top of another piece, and then the other end is going to be under the next piece, and that's how they all slot together. And then you get this nice look on the top like so. That is now ready for decoration. Here's the finished decorated box. I'll give you the sizes that I've used. For the sides, the pieces are 2 3/4 inches high by 3 1/4. And for the top elements, what I did was, out of scrap cardstock, I made another one of these top pieces, cut it along and removed completely the 1/2 inch score line. Then I cut it along the 1 inch score line so it was separated into 2 pieces. And then I trimmed 1/8 of an inch off of all of the sides, so off of 3 sides, off of 4 sides for this lower piece. Laid it on the scrap and then adjusted it or tweaked it as necessary. The triangles are not so bad, but with these pieces where you have the angles, sometimes it is hard to get a good look straight away, and you need to trim up section away with your scissors. So once I'd got the look that I was happy with of the scrap, I then used that to draw around on my actual pattern paper. So there's the finished box. I'm really happy with how this one has come out. I think it does have a really nice look to it. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, thanks for watching.